Welcome to the Level 1 Lounge, where we give our uneducated take on anything and everything gaming. So we're joined today by our regular co-hosts. Got Irish Bandit Rob,
Yep.
Ryder Pride. Hey, I got it right this time around.
There we go. Yeah.
639.
Surprising.
And our returning champion, Phil Spencer Jr. It's been a while, man. Nice to have you back on the pod.
Say
I wish it was
his
under better
name and
circumstances.
he appears.
Oh,
I
crap. He came out of
believe
the
in Phil
closet.
Spencer.
God bless you guys. It's nice to be back.
See, I'm the only wrestling fan here.
That's right. Whoa, 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 whoa. I don't know if you knew, Phil
aside
Spencer
from you.
Jr. is a co-host of the In My House Pro Wrestling podcast.
Aside from you.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to start off with in our typical fashion, our burning question. So we're going to start off with what game is on your never played list and not likely ever going to play. So I'm going to actually give Ryder a chance to actually catch his breath because he's been hacking in a little bit there. So I'm going to actually throw it over to Irish Bandit Rob here and see what his answer is going to be on this one.
That's a tough one because there's really not a game that I wouldn't play. So I like, variety. Like, of course, I'm a huge RPG fan, but if I had to pick one game that I'd never play, it would probably be Call of Duty. I've seen Ryder rage at it so many times that it doesn't sound like my kind of thing. So
I feel personally attacked here.
But yeah, if I had to pick one, it would probably be Call of Duty. Because there are other games that, I look and I would love to play, like Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, I'd love to play that. The God of War franchise, absolutely. But Call of Duty, I just looked at and like, no, not for me.
I mean, in that game's defense, a little bit, Ryder does rage at multiplayer and the cheaters, not so much the campaign. But
True.
Question is the campaign really worth picking up the full game for? Especially since it's on Game Pass coming up. But that's going to be a conversation that we will have.
And it's shorter than the Game Awards.
That's true. All right, we're going to throw it over to our guest host here, Phil Spencer. Junior? What games on your never played list and not going to play list?
Never played any of the Baldur's Gate games. I'm never going to play them. I appreciate what they're doing, but they're never getting played.
That's an interesting choice.
Just too
massive
or what?
That in that that turn-based kind of style, it's never grabbed me. Like, obviously Baldur's Gate 3 is a juggernaut, which is something that, like, you have to appreciate the genre, but it's not something I wouldn't even put on a never played list. It's just like it exists in a different realm where I don't exist. like people enjoy that game so much, and I'm like, so happy for you. I'm so happy that you enjoy that. But yeah, that's something I'd probably never
That's
jump
like me in Elden Ring. I'm happy you enjoy it, but it just didn't seem like my thing. So I guess I'd add that to my never play list either.
All right, Ryder?
Well, I mean, now that you mention Elden Ring, the one game or series that I've never played and will never play, Dark Souls.
That's a whole genre. Yeah, too. Like, that's a whole genre.
And I can't even really say that it's a whole genre because I have played through the two Jedi games. I've played through Fallen Order. I've played through Survivor, which have kind of that somewhat of the same aspect in terms of Souls-like, with a few twists, obviously. But and again, and much exactly how Phil Spencer put it, I'm glad that there's a big market for the Dark Souls games. There's still a big market for the Dark Souls games, especially in one of my particular favorite communities, the speedrunning community. To see people go through, speed runs, glitchless runs, damageless runs, playing through Dark Souls on a Dance Dance Revolution pad, things like that. Those things are incredibly enjoyable to watch, and I'm glad that there is a marketable aspect for that. But I will never buy the games. If they're free, I probably wouldn't even add them to my library, to be honest with you. But there we are. Dark Souls is my pick for never played, never will play.
I'm going to throw this one out there. This isn't my answer, of course, but there was a question like this that came up earlier that I had heard. Somebody's answer was, and this is going to hurt two members on this pod. One answer was Final Fantasy VII was going to be on their never going to playlist. And the reason being was it was just too overwhelming for them. It's
Yeah,
too
that's fair.
big of a game.
That I get that. I would absolutely
same.
understand that.
Yeah, there's just But my answer is Diablo 2 and Diablo 1. And I realized that they remade them or they remastered them recently. I will admit I tried a demo, couldn't do it. Could not get into it. It just, even with it enhanced, it just didn't appeal to me. I will play Diablo 3 and Diablo 4, 2, 1, I'll never touch. And I know that they're the better story games, and I can respect that. And I understand that there's a huge community for it as well. Couldn't do it. It's just not going to be for me. And I don't mind that genre though either. So, I mean, it's the only one that really jumped out at me as well. Like I'm with you guys though too. Like Elden Ring, I did try. Demon Souls, like I won't do either. Souls games, it's just not my cup of tea either. So I can relate to that as well.
I thought you were gonna say literally anything Nintendo.
The thing is with Nintendo, I am actually looking at getting a Switch 2 as well. And there are some games that there's a huge backlog of games, and they do have that catalog as well that is available for it as well. So I can't say anything Nintendo because there are going to be games that I am interested in playing. And I know like even the Legends of Zelda games, they're the best, the top tier. Wind Waker, I think, was one that I seen that's on the top of the list. Never played it, and I'm not going to say I'll never play it because there may be an opportunity in the very near future for me to try it. So I can't say that, and I won't say that because we will be looking at getting a Nintendo in the next few months. So that's my answer is Diablo 2. But I understand where you're saying anything Nintendo because you keep telling me you hate fun. You
He
hate
hates
fun.
He specifically said how much he hates Italian plumbers. Numerous times
Pretty
to me.
specific.
It's wild. I'm like, whoa,
Everybody sound off in the comments below.
that's right.
Hey, I always
Agent
got to get the
Maverick.
promise.
That's right. Agent Maverick, aka the Fishman, king of the Yote.
He tuned in for my stream for like 10 minutes and I was fighting for a fish.
The
Anyways,
Fishman reigns supreme.
anyways, so let's move on and watch Phil Spencer Jr. die a little bit as we move on to our main and only topic that's really been coming up, and we'll kind of spiral out from there. So we're going to boot up the system here, and we're going to start talking about the decisions that Xbox has made with their Game Pass price increase. And it got so bad for people actually canceling that the website crashed in order to be able to cancel Game Pass here the last little while. I know Phil Spencer Jr. is just dying to say something here. He's been a wreck here for a while, so I'm going to let him sound off here first.
How does this company's marketing team go from the most pro-consumer, we're going to give our games to everyone to play anywhere, to the worst delivered price increase ever? Also, they come out with a video to tell you, we're switching things up. We're giving you, the player, more choice. First of all, just by changing names of tiers. That's it. Like, we're going to change the names of some tiers here. And Ultimate Folk. This one was for Maverick. Like, I thought he was like, whew, they did it, guys. Ubisoft Classics Plus is on Game Pass Ultimate. That's right, guys. 13 goddamn Assassin's Creed games are just now on Game Pass for you.
Oh, it's a whole library.
That's right. all those hits coming from Ubisoft. They're there on Game Pass. And then they sprinkle in, hey, Fortnite players. Fortnite Crew is now a part of Game Pass. Now, none of us here really play Fortnite. We all understand
No.
what the juggernaut of Fortnite is. It is an unstoppable beast, clearly. But I mean, that in itself is $11.99 a month if you were to purchase it on its own. So going into that, I was like, okay, this video's out. Like, more way to earn rewards. Sure, you guys made some changes. Great. Not once in that video did they tell anyone about the price increase. That news came after.
Yeah.
Like, here's this video. First of all, should have been transparent from the get-go.
Yeah.
You really dropped the ball to say, like, yes, no more day one games on premium, the middle tier. Okay. Like, it's a pretty vast difference in price between that middle tier and ultimate. So now you'll wait a year to get those day one games to show up on the premium, the middle tier pass that you would pay for. Okay, sure. But then you go to ultimate and you increase the price by 50%. So what you were touting was the best deal in gaming. Like, you were saying it, people were saying it. This is the best deal in gaming. Immediately changes. Now, if you would have told people, yes, you're getting Ubisoft, this stuff costs money. Obviously, deals were made. Fortnite, same thing. Obviously, they looked at what their players were engaging with on Xbox and they thought, hey, this is a good investment. We have a lot of active Fortnite players. Let's add this in. If you're going to have 75 day one games, which is what they said in their video, 75 day one games coming to Game Pass Ultimate, I probably would have shown more than what's outside the bubble of this year. You probably could have gave them quick trailers for 4 or 5 bigger games that were going to drop on your service to help ease the pain of a 50% price increase.
Yeah.
Like,
And that translates to
Massive.
$15 Canadian, by the way, extra per month is the way that it's going to work. Because
my
it's
subscription,
$10.
my ultimate goes up $11.
It goes up $11. Okay.
$11 to 33. Like, it's not. I mean, obviously, I'm going to pay it anyway. I'm a shill. I'm a plant. You guys think I'm here out of the goodness of my heart? Wrong. Dad sent me.
Read the name, folks.
Yeah. Get people Xboxes, son. That became harder to do.
But everything is an Xbox now.
I mean, to have this so close to Call of Duty's release shows you the thing that, okay, so pre-orders for Call of Duty obviously aren't doing well. They can't be. You're timing this around, I'd assume, your cash cow for the year, which would be Call of Duty, is
Right,
what
and-
you got this company for.
And there was reports that were leaked or released here as well after the price increase that Microsoft lost $300 million by putting it on Game Pass last year, putting Call of Duty on Game Pass. Now, I
See,
don't
this
know if
is-
that's accurate.
We're going to get into the fake outrage of the internet pretty quick, but yeah, that number is
Yeah.
probably good when Game Pass is getting $5 billion in revenue to Microsoft. So you're looking at that trade-off, right? The Call of Duty brand, I would assume, would lose. You look at any
Well,
Xbox player,
How
would you play Call of Duty?
I would argue that it's likely not a $300 million loss, but a $300 or $300 million less revenue than they were anticipating. I wouldn't necessarily say that it was a loss, is the way that I would take it. It's just that it didn't generate as much as they were hoping. But, and I mean, we'll definitely get into the outrage of the internet, but like that's not a small number either, because they do have to still accumulate they got to get some kind of money for their purchase, right? And for buying Activision and Ubisoft. And didn't they also say to the FCC, when the FCC was challenging them in court, no, we will not increase the price of Game Pass? And here we are, a year and a half later after the acquisition's completed.
I think
and they're
they've increased it 3 times. So no, I don't
Yeah.
think raising the price was going to be a thing. At some point, that was going to happen, right? I mean, taking the traditional route of most of these kind of streaming platforms or services, like here and there, nickel and diming you. Like Disney's gone up 170% since they've launched, but they just don't do it all at once. They don't make you eat a big number at once. You're like, it's $2 more for this program now. Oh, it's an extra $1 now. Easier pill to swallow than it's like it's a 50% increase for Ultimate now. You're like, God, of course the internet's going to be outraged. That number's not small. But it's back to my point. It's so close to Call of Duty, right? So last year's Call of Duty, its biggest percentage of players were on the PlayStation 5. Shocker. There's just so many more of them out there. PC guys, I think, are like in that mixed land of like their interest in Call of Duty is like drop in, drop out. Because the game has never been great for keyboard and mouse players. It's pretty proven now that like you're going to play on a controller if you're playing Call of Duty. But Xbox took it out of the equation for any Xbox user to be like, dude, why would you spend $90 on that game?
Yeah.
And you're like, you're right. Why would I spend $90 on that game? There's this service where I can drop in and out of Call of Duty whenever I want and still have another library of games to pick at. So it's too conveniently close to Battlefield 6's beta did obviously really well. People had all eyes on Battlefield 6, which means a lot more eyes off Call of Duty. And then you get the eyes that'll be Call of Duty's the same thing every year. And I go, so is NBA, but you guys keep buying it. So you should kind of almost be happy that you're getting the same package every year because it seems to be what you want. Because every year you keep giving them the money and every year they're going to deliver you the same experience.
Yeah, and the EA conference, that's a whole other conversation too with EA.
Okay. For sure.
I'm sure we can dig into that a little bit here too. But I mean, I've got Game Pass Ultimate as well, and I'm not going to be canceling my subscription either. Because let's face facts, like you're not going to tell me that you're going to go out and you're going to pick up Gears of War or Halo or whatever game that you want to play that's potential Indiana Jones that's all on Game Pass. You're not going to spend that kind of money. You play what, maybe one game off of Game Pass every month or two. It makes up for it. So like it makes up the price of the increase and makes it worth getting. Like the whole reason why I was interested in getting an Xbox at first, what got my view on it, my eyes on it was Game Pass. That made it worth it for me to buy an Xbox. And that was why I picked
like
one up.
me, where
Yeah.
I buy a month of Xbox Game Pass to play Black Ops 6, played it for just the campaign, put it away. And you know what I played for the rest of the month on Xbox Game Pass? Vampire Survivors.
Yeah, but you know what's it's kind of nice because like guys like yourself, Ryder, or even Rob, like PC players are still in a sweet spot with PC Game Pass, right?
Oh,
Like
absolutely.
they're still targeting directly to the PC player to be like, no, like PC Game Pass is an option. It's something they didn't really hint at during that presentation either, but it's just like, hey, there's a very concrete, and it sounds like day one stuff is going to go to PC Game Pass. Could be wrong. Go ahead and educational patch that for anyone listening. But your option still there is a sole PC player. It's the most it's obviously a tough week because discounts on like if you buy games that are in the Game Pass catalog, they're no longer discounted. People have slowly been finding that out. You don't get discount on COD stuff anymore either. So that has been stripped out of this. Like you can earn rewards that will get you stuff from the store instead of just like here's hard discount for your Call of Duty, your battle passes, or the game itself. If you ever so choose, you're like, I just want to own it. Like I'm done with Game Pass, but I love Call of Duty, so getting the benefit of getting the game cheaper was huge. That's gone out of the idea that it's just
Well,
like
even
driving.
they're getting rid of the discounts for like DLCs. So if you decide, I have this game on Game Pass, I want to play the DLC, there's no more discount for being a Game Pass member either.
Yeah, so like I said, it's all in change for more rewards. So play more games, earn more rewards, get your benefit that way, right? At a capped earning of rewards, which is another wild thing too.
Confirmation though, players with Game Pass Ultimate on console or PC Game Pass will still have day one access. So yes,
No, that's Ultimate. Ultimate includes both. There is still just PC Game Pass.
Okay. Call of Duty Black Ops 7, High on Life 2, and there is going to be more. So yeah, you can. It's still going to be available on PC Game Pass.
Yeah, because
Absolutely.
Ultimate is just like it is across everything. If you're getting Ultimate, if you're a PC and an Xbox player, it'll be all tied together. But if you just get PC Game Pass, it seems like that's the new best deal in gaming.
Yeah.
But
Sounds
I
like
guess
it.
I guess my question to everyone here, like everyone plays games pretty frequently, I would say. At $33 a month, if you were to go look at the library of Xbox Game Pass now, do you think that is still touted the best deal in gaming?
Rob, I'll
Because
go
the
first
internet,
on this one.
Yeah.
God,
Rob, go ahead.
I don't know, honestly. You're getting so much, but also $33 a month. That's like not a lot of people can really afford that. Like myself, I can't afford that. But I guess it differs from person to person. But there, like I said, there is so much available on Game Pass that for somebody, yeah, $33 could still be worth it in the long run for that extensive library of games.
I think it's a good. We're gonna stop before Ryder gives us his take on it. When you said you can't afford it, I like that stance too, right? Because this goes to gaming as a whole. I'm gonna make this abundantly clear to everyone listening. This hobby's expensive,
Mhm.
and with game prices going up, and if you want to blame tariffs or any other economic situation that's going on, that's fine. Games were expensive even before that. But companies are now able to go. Nintendo is saying you're going to spend $100 on video games. You're going to spend $100 on our video games to buy. So you're like, wow, okay, that's $100 in a time where it's tough economically. Groceries are up, everything's up. Video games is entertainment. It's still a hobby. It's no different than shows, right? Like if you look at concert tickets or big event tickets, they're pricing out the middle class.
WWE is a great example.
It's the best example for this, 100%. Like it's making it so that the every fan, like the people who have been there, like a lot of us have been playing games since very young. And like what I say is like the resurgence of video games, right? Like the NES era and up. We have been there. And there's always
Oh, I
something,
was playing
right?
video games before the video game crash.
Yeah, like so you got to see it, right? But you got to hear all the song and dance before, like of it's cartridges that make video games so expensive. It's actually putting them in a cartridge that makes that price because
Then it was, oh, we're putting
Yeah,
it
but now
on
that we're
we're
leaning
putting
more
on
towards
discs.
digital.
So discs are going to be a thing. Then, oh, we're putting it on Blu-ray, and then, oh, now it's 4K. We're putting them on a 4K disc, and now it's also development time. There's more demand for software, that type of thing, because of the graphics that are involved and the development time and the teams.
that's I
Like
mean
there's
a
always
whole other thing that just drives me insane about video games is what you just said.
Yeah, and
And
then you got
graphics and all
developers
that.
that are using the excuse about about being cross-platform, taking older games and porting them over to other systems, aka Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, would be an example, or remake and Rebirth. Sorry, exclusivity started out, and then they still have to port them to other systems. They have to recode the game to work on other systems. So yeah, you can add that to the list.
It's going back to Rob's, like if you did the ultimate at $33, right? Like yes, that is expensive. You have said I can't afford this. Okay, the incentive there is that there's 75 day one games. Would you be okay with not having those 75 day one games and not having Ubisoft Classics, no Fortnite crew, but still having a decent library of games and waiting a full year to play those day one releases you were missing for $16 a month?
Even $16 a month is kind of pushing it for me, but it would be a better option overall.
It's and you wouldn't mind that wait, right? Like
Right.
at this point, like you like to buy games on sale. Obviously, free games are given out across like Epic and Steam and all this stuff where you jump on deals as soon as you see them.
Yeah,
For
absolutely.
that kind of gamer, this is still a viable option.
Yeah.
Like
So
I
it's
just
good
finished
to hear that.
2016's Doom, so
Yeah.
I mean,
my
good
catalog's
for
a little
you for
behind,
going
but
back into that. I'll give you that though too, since we're on that, for sure.
But now to Ryder, like obviously like decently high end PC or PlayStation 5 owner,
Right.
much like next week, you and I will both be Switch 2 owners. We're actively getting machines and buying video games. Does $33 a month incentivize you with the library that's there and these promise of 75 day one games? Is that something you would
In
think is the
hindsight,
best
it
deal?
does. In hindsight, it does, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I even tried Game Pass, back when Black Ops 6 was released, because I didn't have to shell out the full price for the game in order to play through the campaign, which I really, really wanted to see. But looking at a 50% increase from $22 to $33 Canadian now I have to take a look at, okay, yes, they're increasing the price 50%. Is that 50% increase giving me any additional benefit that I can take advantage of that I couldn't take advantage of before when it was $22? And to me, that's a no. I don't play Fortnite, so the Fortnite benefits don't do anything for me. Ubisoft Classics is a no, because I don't want to play 74 different Assassin's Creed games.
I also want to add one other thing to the Ubisoft thing, just because it's come up a couple times. Ryder, you also have PlayStation Plus Extra, right?
Yeah, extra, not the premium.
Okay, Extra has Ubisoft Classic as well, so all those games are already on PlayStation, available there as well for the PlayStation Extra. You
I'm still
don't have
not
any
playing
benefit.
123 different Assassin's Creed games.
I understand. I
I
understand.
love how the
But my argument still my argument is still, you're already getting that benefit without having to pay that additional $11 a
Right.
month, since you've already paid for that other subscription.
Right, but even with PlayStation Plus out of the picture, just looking exclusively kind of just at this particular benefit, I'm not going to play 267 different titles of Assassin's Creed. But the other thing, the other bonus that I'm not getting is I don't have Division 3, so screw you guys.
I didn't know that was coming.
Yeah,
Get him.
give me Division 3.
Or Beyond Good
Give
and
Phil-
Evil 2.
I was just going to say that too.
Ooh.
But
No, I'm on that train now, but I'll get to that.
You're not welcome on the train. You can stand outside the train and wave at us.
You off the train.
How dare you when you buy your Black Flag remake next year? Don't you ever tell
a
me
meme
you're
right
on that train.
yeah, I mean, like, who else needs 347 copies of Assassin's Creed? Like, that's.
I feel like that's an exaggeration, though.
I think that number is accurate. I think that number's accurate. But again, your value was looked at like, hey, I'm saving substantial amount of money from buying the $90 version of Call of Duty Black Ops 6 to be able to try it in that $20-some range.
Yeah,
that's an easy pill to swallow.
And for me, and at the time, absolutely it was. In my current financial situation, I could get I can get the Game Pass Ultimate now and not be horribly affected by it. But like I said, in terms of my decision to want to get Game Pass Ultimate lies in what is the difference between $22 and $33 in terms of the value that I'm getting for that extra $11 a month, and I don't see it. So that in and of itself is what turns me off of wanting to get Game Pass Ultimate in this particular case. I don't feel that I'm getting any additional value from that extra $11 a month.
Well, and if you're going to be just going in for Call of Duty, and I'm not saying that you're going to, but like if you could look at it as, to buy Call of Duty for the value of 3 months, you can own that game. If you're just going to be getting it for Game Pass, you might as well just buy the game.
Yeah. See,
so
I can justify getting PlayStation Plus, not only for access to the library of games that they give, but for the free games that they give. Like these are games that once you claim them, they are yours, so to speak. I mean,
as long as you have
technically own digital games anymore, but that's a whole other slice of pie. But I mean, so I can justify PlayStation Plus with the games that I'm getting for free that I can play anytime I want, as long as I have my PlayStation. Or wherever, because I do have an iPad that I borrow whenever I do my night shift, so I play my PlayStation when I'm at the office, and there's some downtime and quiet time that I can enjoy. So I can justify that, and to that aspect, PlayStation has done that. They have increased their prices on their PlayStation Plus, just not 50% all in one big chunk.
Yeah.
I think the last price increase was what, $1.50 a month, $2 a month, something like that.
It's a little bit more than that, but
even that, we're gonna say under $5 for the sake of this argument, under $5.
Yeah.
Stripping away, you get no day one games from PlayStation on your service. So in no way should it ever value what you're getting for software that is $90 out the gate to be on a service available for you amongst 500 other games. Right?
Yeah.
Like I would expect that PlayStation price to be cheaper.
Yeah.
Because of what it offers. So for you kind of brought it up best because we're going to get to Maverick and I assume his answer will kind of be like mine. But that $11 gap showed you nothing. Because you're right, Ultimate before had all the things you wanted. It just had the games you wanted to play at a price you thought was fair. So going out to these other companies and adding an $11 increase for stuff that you're never going to use. Like you're never going to install that anything from the Ubisoft Classics, and you're sure as heck not going to install Fortnite to get all those benefits of those 1,000 V-Bucks that you're going to get from from the Fortnite crew stuff. It's understandable. And when they pitched it the way they did, they're saying this is why, right? Like this is what the video told you. We're adding this and this, and you went, well, I don't need any of that.
Yeah.
Now Maverick, also on Ultimate as myself, is $33 a month. Or if you have cards like you do, I mean, there's key sites all over the place where you can still buy Game Pass at a very lower price. GameStop is advertising that they still have it for the original price because those cards have already been bought and paid for. So you can still go to stores and find Game Pass at that price still. For me, I'm just auto renew. Mine will go up the second they decide it'll go up. That's just how it is. You have Game Pass Ultimate. Is that increase, if you didn't stack up on cards that gave you the cheaper price, is that still a worthy investment?
It is to me, and it's because I do try every new game that does come out. There's well, I'm not going to say every new game, but the majority of new games, I will be like, hey, this looks interesting. I'll give it a shot, and I see value in it because I do get the day one releases to be like, hey, you know what? It's on here. I'm going to give it a shot. And there are times where, like for an example, I played Expedition 33 on the Series X because it was on Game Pass day one. We can all agree, every single one of us, fantastic game. I felt that the developers needed a little. I wanted to make sure that the developer had a little bit more support. I actually paid for the game, but I know that's some people would say that's kind of a waste of money, and that's fine. But there is still value to me to, as long as I'm playing, in my mind, 1 to 2 games on Game Pass a month, or every other month, like every 2 months playing one of the new games. To me, it makes up that value because I'm not going to have to shell out money for that game. The catalog of games that's there's still a ton that's on Game Pass and Game Pass Ultimate that I haven't touched, that I haven't had the opportunity to get into yet because I didn't really have an Xbox until 3 or 4 years ago. And that catalog is huge. I didn't have an Xbox since the original Xbox. So there's a lot on there for me. There's a lot of value still for me. The cloud gaming I don't take advantage of. But that's fine. My Xbox is my Xbox, and that's where I'm going to be playing my games because I enjoy sitting in front of the TV and playing it there. But to me, there's the value there. And $11 under, like, with my financial situation, I'm lucky enough to be able to say that I have both consoles. I'm looking at getting a Switch, and I'm going to be able to afford the subscriptions. But I'm one of the few that's out there, and I know that I'm very fortunate to be able to do that. And I know that there's a lot of people that can't afford that. So I understand the other side of the situation though too, like what Rob was saying, that he can't afford it. His argument makes total sense. It is a lot to ask. The only thing that I would like to see, and they make all of they talk about all of these changes, and paying per month when the cards run out that I've picked up is fine. But I'm also kind of curious on why they don't have the option to pay for a full year rather than, per month. And that's the one thing that always confused me when it came to Game Pass. Like I stack by buying 3 months at a time, but that's kind of a workaround. But I don't understand why I can't go onto my Xbox and be like, oh, I'm going to pay for a year and then not have to worry about it for a full year.
Well, there's a big reason. I don't know if you heard. There's a 50% increase. Don't give them the option of the year where those players are still getting to take advantage of it, right? There are players like me, the whales, who will just throw their credit card onto the service and forget it ever happens. Because that's what's
Yeah, but I mean,
happening,
we
and
know
that's
who
what's
your
going
dad
to
is,
happen.
so
It's right.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? It may be free. You guys don't know. it may be a lifetime of free Game Pass for me. But I'm with you. Like if I was to do number crunch, and obviously we have the spreadsheet going of games finished, majority of mine come from Xbox, and primarily they came from Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah.
I would get more than the $300 and some a year from the service.
Yeah.
100%.
That's a bargain.
The point of the conversation of asking everyone what they see their value in is to show the internet, hey, assholes, you don't have to crucify the podcast for this. You can just come at me. Your fake outrage that you speak for the every person, you don't. Everyone has their own opinion when it comes to the services they want to buy or the games they want to play. I will make fun of you all day for choices you make, but you ultimately get to make the choice, and who cares what I say? We are turning too much stuff into an outrage case, which you've lost the plot on what video games are. We've stopped celebrating a great year that, like, hey, did you know Microsoft Game Studios put out Avowed, South of Midnight, Indiana Jones late last year, Doom the Dark Ages, Oblivion remake. Expedition 33 was on Game Pass. Ninja Gaiden 4 is coming to Game Pass, Outer Worlds,
Yeah.
Gears of War Reloaded. They have had an incredible year of shipping video games. It's irrelevant. Xbox is cooked, right? 50% increase means bad. If anything is bad, it is that marketing team. This was going to happen. They were going to raise the price of Game Pass. They decided to do it in the worst way possible. This was the worst rollout to an increase in something where, and also too, where you're just like, man, you guys were running the charge of being so pro-consumer. Also, like, to kind of turn their back on the Xbox ecosystem when Phil Spencer came out and said, it's just 4 games going to other platforms, guys. Like, no, it's every game going to every other platform. Don't just say 4 games. You're finding success because you're selling to machines that have a bigger user base. You're making money off that. You're becoming that game publisher. And in all of this week, it then came out, it's like, they're cooked. They're not making hardware anymore. They signed a 10-year deal with AMD. They're making hardware.
Yeah. And I mean, the other thing you also have to keep in mind, as much as there's a 50% increase in Game Pass, where else can you play your PlayStation other than a PlayStation Portal? You still have to own the hardware. Where else are you going to play? I mean, yeah, Nintendo's nice and portable. You can take that kind of anywhere with you. You still have to own that specific piece of hardware.
That's right.
Yeah.
Where can you play Xbox? On your PC, on your Xbox, on your phone, on your tablet, on your toaster, on your Samsung fridge, on Grandma's Singer sewing machine from 1936.
Woo! Preach! Preach!
Everything.
I got Game Pass on my monitor even as well. So yeah,
everything is an Xbox. And if you want Game Pass, where can you go to get it?
www.xbox.ca. If the website still works.
Been too long. It's been too long.
It's hard to say. Yeah. But now, coming away from this, because obviously price increase bad, consumer hate. We are now in a weird spot for Xbox where our strategy was to get games in the hands of everyone, everywhere. And in that, you killed the Xbox ecosystem. You killed what brought players together in the first place, and that was a dedicated Xbox under your television. So your Xbox, and you now look, you're like, okay, this 50% increase really upset people. So if we don't have them jump on board and get those numbers we had, how are we going to do that? So you have a game like Elder Scrolls 6. We obviously know it's coming. They're making it. Bethesda is going to work hard to make sure they're making the best game possible. Your Xbox brass for the first time ever, do you say this game is exclusive to Xbox? Because your strategy now is just like, what has worked for Sony? Their player base knows, like Ghost of Yotei is only playable on a PlayStation 5. Where can
now.
you play it? On a PlayStation 5. Sure, down the line they can put it on PC, but they're going to milk every single second of it on the actual PlayStation 5 hardware.
Absolutely.
Microsoft learned a lesson too. Forza Horizon 6 is not coming to PlayStation day one. It will arrive at a later date. So now they're even pivoting on their own stance of let's get it everywhere.
Even let's go recently too. Indiana Jones, you brought
Right, I
that
was
up.
just thinking of
Released
that.
last year, late. They released it. They did release it on PlayStation, but it wasn't released, I think, till April or May of this
Yeah,
year.
it was like 3 or 4
Sure.
months after the fact. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it wasn't a year, but it was a decent chunk of time where, like, I'm going to play this on my Xbox.
So, but
It's
then
no question.
the great point. So they got players to Game Pass with Indiana Jones, without a doubt. Call of Duty ships on every platform except Nintendo, but ships on every platform the same day. To not lose that money, Elder Scrolls will be your next biggest thing. I'm going to say it. Like, Fable's not going to move the needle like Elder Scrolls is. Elder Scrolls is going to be the next game that your studios are putting out that is really going to move the needle.
You know what would have moved the needle? And I'm going to say this, it's going to sting everyone here. Perfect Dark.
You know what? That sting is long gone because it sounds like that thing was a disaster.
I'm starting to think the same too. Yeah.
The amount of people who have left and then had to come in, it doesn't sound like Perfect Dark was going to be an episodic game at one point. So I don't think there was ever a really firm plan on Perfect Dark, and the internet is so butthurt about Perfect Dark. I'm like, they showed you what they were going to show you. It could have been anything just generated for that show. The sounds of it was that game was not in a good state going in to that show. They obviously were just like, we have to cut ties at some point, or we're shipping a bad game, which hurts us even more. Concord shipped,
Concord.
and then exactly.
It lasted what, 4 days?
And then shuttered a studio when your game launched.
Yeah. It lasted what, 3 or 4 days before they're like, oh, we got to pull the plug on this.
Mhm.
It's and again, no one likes to see studio closures. There's too many games. This is the market we're in. Look at September and October. It is flooded with video games. There's so many games, and there's just no human, normal human, has that much time to play that many video games. It's just, you can't.
Well, you can also look at it as like an embarrassment of riches too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like even for a lot of the full-time content creators that
everything.
I typically follow, they can't keep up.
No.
Yeah. I mean, right now, even my, like, what I've got going on right now, like, I'm playing through Ghost of Yotei. 2 days? I think even tomorrow night, Battlefield 6 is out tomorrow night. I mean, as of this recording, of course. Then we got Ninja Gaiden 4 coming out at the end of the month, and that's just in the next 3 weeks. I'm not even halfway done Ghost of Yotei yet. Like, not even close to halfway done.
You put 5 games down to play Ghost of Yotei.
Yeah, that's true.
At this age in my life, I just won't buy another one until I beat something. Because it will never get beaten if I keep jumping to the next and catching the next. Gaming is a trend. We're telling you you're only a real gamer if you play new game. Wrong.
Mhm.
Wrong.
Yeah.
The internet is all bad for it. One of my favorite Twitch streamers playing the new game. They get that luxury. That's not your real life. That is entertainment you are watching.
1995 on my channel.
And that's my guy. You can go back. You are still a gamer. You don't have to have your finger on the pulse to say, like, well, I got it. How is it? You're like, oh, Christ, I don't know. I have 6 other games I haven't played. So, like,
Yeah.
I bought it. It's there. Like Maverick, how's Borderlands 4? Exactly.
It's good for what I played for the 5 hours, and I put that
Yeah.
aside to play Ghost of Yotei.
So, like, for me now, it's just like, okay, like, if I'm in and invested, because clearly no rentals, which is another reason I look at Game Pass Ultimate, is a great thing. Because smaller games, which people also
Actually, that
hate
is
Game
that
Pass
is a
for.
good question though too. Back in the day, for all of you, and I'm going to start with Rob on that. Like, how much would you have paid for rentals monthly?
Oh God, how much did I pay for rentals monthly?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a great comparison,
I would-
actually.
it got to a point I was going every week after I got my PlayStation to get a new game. I remember little trip down memory lane. I went to my local video store to go rent a game, and I was looking. I found this one from Squaresoft called Parasite Eve. I'm like, okay, I've heard of this one. I'm gonna rent this one. Picked it up, rented it, went home, played it for the week, got stuck at a point. I was like, I have to return. You can edit that out. I got to return the game, but I'm not done it yet. Okay, I got no choice. I got to return the game. Returned the game, went to Walmart. Copy of Parasite Eve, Greatest Hits was sitting right there. I had the money. I bought it. Renting a game made me buy a game to complete. I didn't complete it.
But
made me
I
buy
mean,
a game that
the
I
price
absolutely
of
Flip
enjoyed.
that.
price,
that.
There
price,
needs to be a remake. right?
price of the game at that point in time would have been what, $49.99,
Yeah,
which
something
is
about that, yeah.
still
And it was the Greatest Hits title,
still
so it was
more
cheaper.
expensive than what Game Pass is now.
Well, no, you're
Yeah.
looking at this. He got his rental for if a week, then 5 days
Yeah, it was
maybe.
like $7.99.
Yeah. For that, like
And I paid $20 for the game a week later.
But I mean,
So-
and also I shared a video with you guys though as well, and I think it was pretty accurate. And it was the second time I ever made Phil Spencer laugh, which was somebody that was like, "Yeah, I want to cancel Game Pass. I'm ticked off that they're increasing the price." And they're like, "Okay, well, let's go play Gears of War. We'll get our frustration off with Gears of War." Oh wait, I don't own that. Okay, well, we'll go play Halo. Oh, I don't own that one either. And he went through all of his list of games, and he realized that he didn't pay and have own any of his games. All the games he was playing on his Xbox was on Game Pass. He didn't buy a single game in the 4 years that he had his Xbox.
Yeah, and I think that's where a lot of the fake outrage is, where it's really, really coming from, especially for the people who only own an Xbox. If they don't pay for games, you're spending, the 50% price increase sucks, but you're literally only down $33 a month to have every game at your fingertips that you were already going to be playing to begin with. So there's
Yeah.
justification in that $33. So
Yeah.
to
You
be
summed that up
outraged
beautifully.
just at that is I 100% agree with Phil Spencer on that. Your outrage is severely misplaced.
Or it's just the tribalism, right?
Or that
Like,
too,
that
yeah.
too.
We love making fun of Mav being a pony. I mean, I'm a known Xbot, but like it's that side of it being like they're cooked. You're like, what? You're like, man, we're all losing. Like I've never
Yeah, we
seen
are.
a worse generation for the resurgence of video game tribalism than this one.
Yeah.
And like that includes PC players because like they're the overlooming of like we're laughing at both of you. There's only one that it keeps away from everything, and that's Nintendo.
Nintendo.
There's the only company where it's just like we don't care. You're paying $100, and you're like, yeah, you're right. Everyone's like, that's complete. That died immediately. The Switch 2 came out, and they're like, nah, whatever. $100 ain't so
Yeah.
bad, right?
It's like, oh
Like,
man,
I-
the Switch 2 is expensive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Exactly.
And now I mean, it's a double whammy for Microsoft, especially because like raised console prices due to tariffs. So your Xboxes are more expensive than they've ever been. And then to say that, like, and here's your 50% increase on Game Pass, it is a
Yeah.
bad marketing week for Xbox. But as someone like you said, if you own an Xbox and you own Game Pass, probably your primary system to play on. If now is the thing that's going to be like, yeah, the extra $10 or $11 is the deal breaker. Man, modern games just may not be for you. Maybe
Yeah.
get a low-end PC and go through the giant back catalog of sales through Steam and run games that'll run perfectly fine on your low-end machine. Because I don't care who you are, if you build a mid to high-range PC, you're spending, if not the same or more,
Yeah.
to get
And
a
I mean,
console.
and I think a lot of people are
Absolutely.
also losing sight of the long game too. I mean, yeah, in this particular bubble of time, Microsoft is going to lose money. That much is certain. But you poke your head outside of the bubble and you start looking to the future for the games that are coming, for the services that are coming, for the infrastructure that is going to be coming to improve the Xbox Game Pass experience across all devices, including that 1936 sewing machine in your grandmother's basement. you know, things like that. In the long run, Microsoft is going to recoup those losses. Maybe there's a small chance that maybe they walk back the price jump a bit and make it $27 instead of $33. There's still a price increase, but maybe it doesn't hit. I'm not saying that something like that is going to happen, but maybe there's a chance that they look at that and going, okay, maybe we overstepped a little bit. Let's try and pull that back a bit, but still communicate that we still have to increase our prices because tariffs, because inflation, because infrastructure, yada yada yada. Throw out whatever excuses you want. But yeah, in the long run, I don't think this is going to really hurt Microsoft, if at all.
I mean,
in my opinion,
trillions of dollars in that company, right? Like their gaming division, if it's really hemorrhaging that bad, it's not like it can't stay afloat. But it's a trendsetter, right? They're like, we saw Sega Channel and we wanted to take the mantle, and we wanted to make it work in the future. Like, and it's gonna have a lot of eyes and a lot of fingers pointed at you. Like, you guys are killing the industry. You're killing game devs. It's like, nope, the player is still actively doing that. The player is still not taking chances on smaller games. If it is, it has to be won by someone who is watched by 1 million people on Twitch. That's how you get it over. Free marketing. No one's just taking the chance. Game Pass gives you a chance to play smaller games, and people on Twitter all day, all they give you is crap indie games. I'm like, wrong. The stance that you have is game is bad because it's indie.
That's a terrible stance.
It's
I
the
can tell you
worst
some great
stance.
indie games that I've played.
We could sit here all
Expedition
night
33,
and talk
hello.
great indie games, but the general gamer is the gamer who buys the least amount of games. It's just like stats are coming out now. Matt Piscatella put out like a really good breakdown of who's buying games. Guys like us are the sole people who are buying. Like a Maverick, for example, is a part of the smallest percentage buying multiple games a month. The biggest populace are buying 1 to 2 games a year. The gap is being filled.
And
Younger generations found free to play.
I'm probably even a part of a smaller gap because I still pre-order my games. Right.
I mean, at this point, I'd put it in the same combo. You're still buying them. The pre-order is irrelevant.
Yeah.
You're giving them your money regardless. But
yeah,
my nephews can live off Fortnite or Roblox. They don't care. They don't know what a Ghost of Yotei is. They're not chomping at the bit. It's like this elder guard that we've created where it's just like, these are video games, man. And you're like, it sucks though that we say that because they're repackaging the same stuff because they know that's what we want. I'm playing a Borderlands 4. Guys, I don't know if Ryder will agree. Borderlands 4 didn't reinvent the wheel. Borderlands 4 is still a really, really fun video game. Absolutely. But Borderlands 4 did not reinvent the wheel. If anything, its detriment was its open world is bad for its actual main story.
But the movement made up for it.
Yeah, the game playing Borderlands 4 is incredible. Like, it's still there. It's still the Borderlands experience I want. Maverick, I haven't played Ghost of Yotei. Some tells me Ghost of Yotei is more of that Ghost formula that you loved.
Absolutely. I would also argue that Ghost of Tsushima is actually better because there was more to break up the gameplay. Like the thing is with this one, kind of talking about this one a little bit, was there's a lot more open world bloat, and I'm sure everybody understands what I mean when I say that. It's a lot of open world bloat, and there's
you tell them, Johnny Ubisoft. You tell them.
And I mean, of course, I agree with you too. With Assassin's Creed is like that too. I will agree. But Ghost of Tsushima was like you followed the story. It was very cut and dry. This is your next mission, and there's a lot more flexibility with Ghost of Yotei, which is a good and bad thing. I feel the story doesn't flow as good as Ghost of Tsushima did. The world is all pretty much fully explorable right off the jump. I hate that there's no XP system. But you're right. It also doesn't reinvent the wheel.
But again, I'm just as guilty. I'm playing a Ninja Gaiden 4. Like, these are the games that are coming. I'm playing Outer Worlds 2.
Yeah.
This year, like, it's nice that Keeper from Double Fine is going to be out this month. No one's going to play it. No one's gonna play
Except
it
you.
except me and those few other guys like me who wear cardigans all the time, talk about how hip we are, and we're with it. But like, you're going up against Battlefield 6. And in the next month, you have to go up against Call of Duty if you're releasing a game. And you can cry all you want to, like, Call of Duty's not going to do well. Totally
Oh,
going to
no.
do well. It's
Absolutely.
totally
Yeah.
going to sell. Those games are fundamentally just different. The only thing they have in common is guns. One is fast, the other is not. The other is
Yeah.
going around with is just like destructible environments. That is not Call of Duty. That's not what people want from Call of Duty. So that whole conversation is even nuts. But you're going up against the 6s or the 7th of a line of games where they're just like, it's tried and true though.
I
Like,
will
why take a
say,
chance on something new?
I would love to see new games. I think that's the one thing we can all agree on. I mean, I remember having a conversation with Chew, and he said this is the worst generation of systems, period. And I was like, well, no, that can't be right. I instantly want to defend it. But then he goes, every single game, and a lot of the games that are coming out, 75 to 80% of these games are remakes and remasters. And I'm like,
Or sequels.
Or sequels.
Sequels, yeah.
oh, yeah, son of a bitch, he's right.
And again,
And
a sequel's fine. Like it's
Yeah.
inevitable. Like this is an inevitable. It's how you build a franchise. It's how you can get people around it, right?
sequels are fine. It's the remakes and the remasters of games like The Last of Us.
Dude,
Love The Last of Us. I've bought every single version, and I am mad at myself even for that too. But the thing is, it's still not required. You don't need to be remaking The Last of Us 7 or 8 different times. Like
Especially since
all
Last of
of
Us 1
these
came out when? Like the original came out when?
2013, I believe.
Yeah, it really wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
the PlayStation 3 game, and people act like it aged horribly. I bet that game still looks good. I do.
There's a major improvement between the original and the remake of part 1. I think the part 1 would have made sense if they didn't do the 2 different remasters in between. But
Dude,
that's my 2 cents.
again, like it's weird when you're like fundamentally changing a game, right? Like I know this is the world's favorite Final Fantasy VII podcast, but it's like they did enough to fundamentally change the game to be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
no, it's not just like here's the code of paint and the same turn-based system. In that case, that game would have shipped on a disc and not been the Final Fantasy VII remake trilogy.
Yep.
Right? Like
Yeah.
they would have just came out and they're like, it's
That is
prettier,
a
but
complete
like
reinvention of the wheel in that particular case.
and
Yeah.
from what they've learned across games, they're like, I think we can blend action and turn-based really well. Like I
And they
think we
did.
learned enough.
I loved the action-based combat in Remake. It was so much better than the turn-based.
I've said it to
Yeah.
Mav before. I think all Square mainline Final Fantasies can use that system moving
Hell
forward
yeah, they can.
because it's the
Yeah,
best.
oh.
It's the best of both to bring modern players in who are not as familiar. Like you get the rare gem like an Expedition 33 that comes out and they're like, guys, these turn-based games. I'm like, they were good, guys. You weren't playing them. You let a whole genre go dormant because you didn't want to play them. Like, oh, the graphics aren't as good, or it's like people who use sprites still. They're like, what game is this? You're like, they're awesome.
Well, the first
Look at Vampire
turn-based
Survivor.
game that I played in the longest time, and I'm sure Phil Spencer Jr. is going to have a lot to say about this game too, was Metaphor. That was the first turn-based system game that I've played in years. Actually, I think since Final Fantasy VIII, and that game was phenomenal. And I realized that's a whole genre that I missed out on.
But no one like trying stuff, right? Like we opened the show with like games we're never gonna play. There's nothing stopping me from playing ball. You know what? I could load up Baldur's Gate and be like, this is brilliant. But like I have it ingrained in my head that I'm gonna hate it already. And I don't do that with food, so why would I do that with video games? But it is, right? It's like how we talk about we don't want to play Monster Hunter. I have tried a handful of Monster Hunters. And I'm like, I still just can't click with this thing. Like, when is my moment? When do I get the eureka moment like the rest of the world?
Yeah.
who
It needs to come
loves
to Game
Monster
Pass for you to
Hunter.
try it again.
They did that, and I did, and I still went, man, like I don't. But at least gave me that opportunity to try, right? Like my investment
Yeah.
already was just like, man, I can just install this now. What excuse do I have? I have no excuse. It's right there. I can hit
Yeah.
install and I can at least try it. But we talk about us who are willing to go outside of that. We're in like a subsect of like we're playing smaller games. Like our very own Irish Bandit Rob plays visual novels. He's the only person I know who plays visual novels.
Mhm.
And it's like that's a dying art of a genre. Like truly.
100%.
Yeah.
But they exist, but players have just been told to like that's not games.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
these
hell yeah,
aren't
they are.
games. But like we know
Absolutely.
they are. And I give the PC crowd this because of the juggernaut of Steam. It's just they help those creators get more in the forefront.
Yeah.
Like they really do a nice job of being like, hey, small game out. Like unless it's that one game who everyone wishlisted, but they didn't send the alert to say the game was out, and it only ended up selling 691 copies. It was wishlisted like thousands of times. Steam first time admittedly saying we dropped ball. Like we don't know why that happened, but people forgot your game was out completely. And I was like, oh man, like because I never like the wish list system to me was like, get out of here. Borderlands isn't needed. Call of Duty doesn't need a wish list. Everyone knows when these are coming out. But you're right. A smaller game, if you're not reminded, because they don't have the marketing dollars to tell you about it all the time, that wish list is actually truly crucial. Like, it's the first time when I was reading that, I was just like, oh man, that's going to be a reminder to the player that that game they once looked at is out.
Yeah.
Like, I never before would have thought that system, like, I was just like, shut up, Jeff Keighley, tell me to wish list everything.
There is one more topic I want to talk about very, very, very briefly before we wrap up, guys, which was the EA purchase that also happened last week. Like, I feel like we would have talked about that this week had Microsoft unfortunately made the decision that they did. And that like they were bought out by, I think what was it, like 30 million by the Saudi Arabian
50,
government.
50 mil
50
55 billion.
or billion.
Guys,
Sorry,
55
yeah, that's what.
Thank you for
billion.
the educational patch. But and to the Saudi Arabian government and Jared Kushner. So I'm going to ask this, and then we'll try to wrap it up. Is what do you guys think is going to be the fallout from that purchase? Do you guys foresee any fallout as well as what I should be asking on top of that? I want to go to Rob first with that question.
I see a huge fallout from this. I see players leaving EA in droves, and I'm saying it right now. I'm never buying an EA game after this. I've know the not get too much into the weeds, but whenever a WWE pay-per-view PLE event happens from Saudi Arabia, I do not watch it. I will not be watching the Royal Rumble. I will not be watching WrestleMania when they have it from Riyadh because of all the atrocities that the Saudi Arabian government has done. And I don't care if you come after me in the comments, but these are my opinions. But I will not be purchasing any further EA games because of it. But that's my stance. You know, I do not share the same opinions as everybody on the panel. That's just my opinion.
That's
No, I
fair.
agree. I agree with that too. I mean, in terms of EA games, I mean they've already killed one of my particular hopes with the Titanfall series, and when they completely axed that particular project, you know that already soured an already soured opinion of EA. Really, the only game that I will basically earmark any sort of money for will be the third installment of the Jedi series. After that, you know, I don't have any intentions of ever playing Apex Legends again. I mean, I tried it well before. I wasn't really good at the game. That's why I really haven't played it, just because I'm not very competitive at it. But other games that are on that particular library, I really have no interest in. And much like what Rob says as well, I mean, I haven't watched wrestling in quite a long time. But for those same reasons, you know, with the political leanings and you know the political impact of what this particular purchase has, a lot of which I severely disagree with. I'm kind of in that same boat too, where I'm not, aside from the Jedi game, I really don't have any intentions of looking EA's way going forward.
Well, Phil Spencer, how about yourself?
I mean, I think EA is obviously financially needed help, and it was to highest bidder. It's how it goes, much like Rob knows with how WrestleMania works. To the highest bidder, it will go. Who's got the deep pockets? Obviously, this deal was able to be reached because it's $55 billion in a time where EA has kind of been fumbling to find footing in what they're doing. Guess what, guys? Battlefield 6 is going to be one of the highest selling games of the year. Ain't nobody I mean, have your stance, and I'm all for it. Your own opinion's your own opinion, and I'm here for it. But like, mass amount of public are just going to go in droves to buy Battlefield 6, and they're going to forget that the Saudis even bought it.
On the flip side, Battlefield 6 was coming prior to this deal even being made. So
sure, but you're gonna sell at this point too. Like, that it's theirs.
Yeah.
You're gonna make a Battlefield 7.
And I mean, you said it
really
yourself.
like Battlefield 6. They're gonna buy Battlefield 7.
You said it yourself, Ryder, too. Like, you're still going to buy Jedi 3, right?
Sure, and like,
that's still.
I don't take away your political, like, your views on what Saudi is. Have them. I respect that you have an opinion. You can have it. Doesn't have to be mine. I'm already in a camp where I'm not playing a lot of games from Electronic Arts. They have done nothing but got great studios consistently to try to fit their mold. BioWare is a disaster. I worry so much about the next Mass Effect. Like, this is it. If not, chopping block, because they get to trim fat now, right? What's not working? We don't want what's not working. BioWare would be a thing that's not working. Respawn's lucky because their talents are being shared with DICE and the Battlefield team. Like, they're in a beautiful spot. Apex is a huge cash cow for them. Obviously, Star Wars has done well. Like, that, those Jedi games are doing well. It's sad, like, that EA, this company, once tippy top, I mean, they has dropped so far to just rely upon, like, hey, we need the biggest shooter on the market, and our sports games are still kind of holding this thing together. Like, we're still shipping Madden every year, and we're still shipping soccer every year. F1's going to come out every year. There's a market for every sport. I'm assuming at this point cricket will be involved. Like, it's just, there's opening the gates to so much more. I mean, I wasn't mad when Daddy Microsoft bought Activision, but the more you see it now, it's just like, are these consumerly friendly moves? Especially with, like, the Saudis don't have the best of the reputations, but they want to diversify outside of oil. And they're one of the last holdout. Guess what, guys? Video game investment, not a hot thing to invest in anymore. It's crazy. Well, if we would have talked last year or the year before, time to invest in video games. Last generation especially. Like, let's throw money at video games. That is not the case. So, I mean, best of luck, EA. But
I do think that there's going to be one thing that we're going to see is a lot more mobile games, and a lot more gotcha elements when it comes to those games as well, because I think that's kind of what they're known for, is implementing games and kind of like that as well. But they do
gotcha games. What gotcha games do they have?
Well, Tencent was also involved with the Saudi Arabian government, right? And they're kind of known for that. With loot boxes and that type of thing.
This Kushner and the old Tencent has no say in EA because their pockets are in Ubisoft. But, like, I mean, I think the goal is to microtransaction the hell out of your games, because the games that make money.
That's fair.
Make a free to play game and nickel and dime everyone for cosmetics. It'll work. If your game is good, it'll work.
But that being said, I do have kind of, like, I'm kind of a mix of both Phil Spencer and Ryder when it comes to this. I'm not playing a whole lot of EA games, and the one game that I know that I would be picking up is definitely Jedi Survivor 3.
And Battlefield 6.
Battlefield 6 I pre-ordered before this event, but yeah. I will not be canceling my pre-order for that. I will admit that I'm still looking forward to that game as well.
Look forward to what you want. Again, everyone gets the biggest takeaway from the pod, everyone, if you haven't noticed. Everyone's able to have their own opinion. You just don't have to flock to the sheeple response to be outraged as well.
Yeah.
It's the best part. If we had better discourse and less videos of just like, they're cooked. You're cooked, man. Failure. It's over. The $1 trillion company, Microsoft, it's done. Xbox blew it, so they're going under.
Yeah.
It is not
That
the
being
case.
said, though, I think we are definitely out of time if we have not already ran over. So I think what we should do is put the controllers down and power off the systems and sign off for this week. So thanks everybody for joining us. So for our co-host that joined us tonight, Phil Spencer, where can they find you?
You can find me over at the 50% increased price at www.xbox.ca. Game Pass Ultimate, baby. No, you can find me over YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the In My House Pro Wrestling Podcast, out every Wednesday for all your pro wrestling needs.
Irish Bounty Rob, how about you? Where can we find you?
You can find me over on Twitch every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I am the spooky season, so I am playing some very spectacular games. I'm playing Ghostbusters on Thursday and Sunday. Not this coming Sunday because I'm taking the day off for the Thanksgiving holiday, but and I'm playing the most wildest game I've ever played in Harvester from 1995. It's a point and click game, and oh my god, I cannot wait to play the next part of it. It is just off the wall nuts. You can also check me out over on YouTube, and you can pick up a copy of my novel Shade Falling over on Amazon as well. You can get that through their Kindle e-reader or on paperback.
Fantastic. All right. How about you there, Writer Pride? Hey, I did it again.
And you can find me over on Twitch. Typically, you find me once a week, but with me being transitioning over to weekend and overnights, I am throwing out a couple of bonus streams right now where I am playing Final Fantasy Tactics, the Chronicles of Ivalice remaster game with the full voice acting. So you guys can catch me over on Twitch there. You can also follow me over on YouTube where you can get a hold of my various Let's Play series as well as some hardware and game reviews there.
Perfect. And you can also find me on Twitch once in a while. I haven't really been. I got a couple rounds of Ghost of Yote up here this last weekend.
Fish man.
But otherwise you can find me on the new Geek Corner. I will make sure that I put up my schedule for when I am going to be going live on Twitch. Likely not going to be happening this week. Things are a little crazy for me at work here in the next little while. But I'm hoping to get a stream in, well, I guess maybe Sunday for Battlefield. I'll keep you guys posted. But other than that, you guys will probably catch a review of Battlefield and Ghost of Yote here in the next few weeks. So that's where you're going to be able to find me at the new Geek Corner on Facebook. But for Irish Bandit Rob, Rider Pride 639, and our co-host Phil Spencer Jr., thanks for tuning in. Have a great day. Thanks for hit like, subscribe. See you guys on the next podcast.
Great
Bye,
job,
everyone.
Fishman.